Record. Okay, so we've had lots of topics over the last 18 months. So this has been a challenge to think, what haven't we chatted about? What has been, something that we haven't sort of delved into? What's an area that we could potentially look at to just get ourselves thinking about well-being? But as I was thinking about it, I was feeling tired. And I was like, oh, like this is just so hard. And why is it hard? And I'm like, well, that's actually what we're going to talk about because it's fatigue. So I was just sort of unpacking it a little bit with, what's this blocker? What's the barrier? Why is my brain not working? So then I got onto the thought about COVID fatigue. And I think Megan mentioned the term a week or so ago. So today's a little bit about COVID fatigue, but then moving into what we can do about it, and I suppose how we can challenge that fatigue that we're feeling. I was feeling tired this morning, and Beck came to the office, and she was bubbly as Beck Nicholas is often, and she's like, "How are you?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm feeling a bit tired." So we were talking about being tired and everything. And then it reminded me last night, I got home and I was like, where is everyone? And knocked on my daughter's bedroom door, and she was in bed. She's like 24. She's fit and healthy. She was snuggled in under a doona. She's like, I'm so tired. And I was like, there's just this pattern. Normally when I get home, she'll be exercising in the garage or she's out running. Non-COVID times, she'll be either playing basketball or netball or, going to the gym. And so, what is it that's making us so tired? Psychologists are actually terming this as COVID fatigue. So they're actually saying this is a thing. So it's not just me going, oh, I'm tired and not coping with life, or it's not just my daughter going, oh my goodness, I've got no social life. And she's very sick of me. It's actually a thing. So it's probably not surprising, given that we've had, over 120 days in lockdown since this global pandemic. It's probably natural that there is, like this deep tiredness that we're feeling. It's a drain, and it's a feeling of just fatigue, I think, and being flat. It is hitting us in many ways, and it's hitting lots of people, I think. Chatting at lunchtime, Nicole, you'll be pleased I had lunch in the staff room and not at my desk. I know, great job. I try to do what I preach. And I was chatting to someone, and he was saying, and I didn't start the conversation. He was like, oh, normally I'm, active and I'm doing this, or I'm playing golf, or I'm playing basketball, or, doing all these things. Just don't have the interest, just don't have the enthusiasm, the energy to go out and do these things. I'm just not motivated. And he said, if I'm feeling flat, what about those people who sometimes or regularly are flatter than, my sort of normal setting? So we had that conversation. So there just seemed to be all these reasons why we needed to focus on fatigue today, because there were lots of little hints that I've been getting over the last 2 days. It's harder to stay positive than last year, absolutely. And it's because COVID is dragging on. I think last year, and I've been saying this to a few people, so sorry if I'm repeating it, but I'm going to anyway. Last year we rode things off. So 2020 we went, okay, we won't plan for overseas trips, we won't plan for catch-ups. Next year will be fine. We'll just ride off 2020, and we'll have all these plans and all these things that we're going to do in 2021. So I think we started planning. I think we became optimistic. So at the end of last year, we were all looking forward to all these different things. So we planned, and they were, catch-ups, birthday parties, weddings, engagements, trips, all those things. But I think what's been harder this year is that we've had these expectations, but they've been broken all the time. So we've had unmet expectations. So we've been getting excited about things and then they don't happen. Or we get worried about something and then restrictions slightly change. So they've had to pivot the event or, you know, do things differently because of restrictions. So I think the up and down of expectations has been wearing us a bit more. Whereas last year we all just went, nah, we don't expect anything. So whatever happens will happen. I know my niece, my nephew and his wife have, they've now got the third date for their wedding. So they've cancelled twice, you know, and watching that whole family navigate that space is really hard. You know, last year they cancelled it in September and went, no, it's not going to happen. They cancelled it quite early. You know, last year they went, oh, it's a year on, it'll be easy. Yep, definitely happen. No, they've just cancelled again. And we're now going for the third date. That's draining. It's hard work. There was a survey done during this pandemic, and it said, believe it or not, people are still feeling grateful. So 56% of people who answered that survey said they're still feeling gratitude. And they even expressed that their intent to feel that they want to feel more grateful in the future. So how are we going to get over this fatigue? How are we going to find a sense of sort of balance, and how are we going to be able to move forward? So the plan today is to have an attitude of gratitude. There are some things that are going well. There are some signs that we are moving forward with this pandemic, and also that we're not going to be stuck in this forever. So, you know, we can look at all the things that aren't working. We can look at, oh, you know, we can't go further than 5K. You know, personally, I know our eldest is further away than 5K, and, you know, we're FaceTiming a fair bit and probably annoying her because we're missing her. But how can I reframe that? So in between the lockdown a couple of weeks ago and this one, we happened to organise a shopping trip to the fashion capital of Melbourne, and I endured Chadstone. But, you know, I look back and think that was a fantastic 3 hours that I spent with her. She talked nonstop, and we had an awesome time. She profited quite well from the shopping trip, as daughters do. But, you know, like, I can look at the fact that we haven't been able to spend some time together for the last couple of weeks, but we had a really awesome one-to-one, you know, mother and daughter time. So that's the ability at the moment, is to go, okay, am I going to get stuck in this COVID fatigue, or what can I do to get out of it? So apart from sort of reframing things, the other things that are going well is vaccination. You know, the vaccination rates are going up so well. You know, who's been vaccinated here, or who has booked in for a vaccination? Yeah, like, that's the majority of, like, that is nearly, I think, all of us. So that's phenomenal. That's going well. That's something that we can really focus on, that is going to be able to encourage us that this isn't going to be forever. Some countries have 0 cases. That is phenomenal. Obviously, our heart goes out to those countries that are still really stuck in really high cases, but there is hope, and vaccination, and obviously, you know, the programs around restrictions are going a long way to fix it. So why is there still a growing sense of negativity? Because there is. Even with vaccination being high, there's still a large proportion of people still really struggling. And, you know, we all are struggling in our own ways. Some people, it'll be more obvious, and it will be more sort of throughout the entire day. Other people will just have periods, and perhaps it won't be as obvious. But why are we still struggling? And, you know, it goes back to the fatigue. Have we got not much energy to be able to pick ourselves up? So the way is to get some energy, and practicing gratitude is a way to get some energy. Our team, of which I think everyone is in this, has been starting each day with a gratitude focus. So I hope they don't mind, but I'm going to share that last lockdown was terrible for our team. We had everyone kept working and putting themselves out there to support students, but our morning meetings were so flat. Everyone just sort of sat there on the screen, and it was so hard. I'd end the WebEx and just go, oh my goodness, I feel drained. Like, what's going on? So I really reflected on it and went, we need to change it up this time. So every morning our check-ins are not about students, not about the day's work. It's about focusing on gratitude. So everyone shares something that they're grateful for. This morning I realised that we've also had a positive spin-off from that, in that we've been able to hear about each other's lives a little bit more. We've been connecting and just getting to know each other on a different level. But the buzz and the feel has skyrocketed. Now at the end of the call, I'm like, right, okay, ready to work, rather than sort of trying to pick myself up and go, oh, what a drainer, like, what's happening? So I challenge you to all, start your day recognizing what's going well. What am I going to look forward to today? What went well yesterday? Who am I grateful for? Is there someone that has done something for you, or is having a significant impact on your life? I was thinking as I was driving to work this morning, I was like, I think I'm going to do something that I've been talking about doing for years, and I've not done it. I'm going to write a letter of gratitude. I've talked about it, and I've, kept journals with listing the things that I'm grateful for, but I'm actually going to step out on a limb and write a letter of gratitude. It'll be quite an emotional thing. It's a very special person who, and I probably can't even tell you about it because it's so special. But it's someone who stepped in to our lives as a family, and I think it'll really mean a lot to her. So, when we express gratitude or write letters or text messages, they bless someone else, and they'll impact someone else, because I'll go, wow, I didn't realize, that I've had this impact on you. But they also do build our own positive emotion. So I'm looking at writing this letter. I think it'll be really important for this person in our family's life to hear the impact that she's had on all of us. So I'm actually going to do that. I've been thinking about it all day, and I'm like, no, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to handwrite it, and I'm going to post it. And yeah, I'm really hoping that she will get a real sense of, positive emotion for the person that she's been to, particularly, well, all of us. I was going to say particularly our kids, but really for all of us in our lives. So yeah, I challenge you, is there someone that you could write a letter to? And it might be a parent, it might be a friend, it might be another family member, but I encourage you to have a think about it. And I'd be interested to hear how the process goes for you. So I'm committed, and I'm going to do it. You also could just do the gratitude journal. You can do that at the start in the morning, about things that you're going to look forward to. We are so thankful to be living in Australia, aren't we? Everyone on this screen has a secure job. You're all living in places that are safe and roofs over your head, and we've got so much to be grateful for. So you can start your day focusing on those things, or you can finish the day with a positive. You know how lots of kids will come home, and you'll say to them, oh, how was your day? And they'll either go, oh, nothing, or, oh, this happened and that happened, and the real negative. Another way of being grateful and building gratefulness in others around us is about, hey, what went really well today? Or, you know, I bet you something really surprised you that you're really pleased about. Let's try and really shift some of that mood with the people in our lives, even with kids or with our teams. Hey, what went well? Or if you've got a struggle or a challenge, how can you reframe that? So how can you look at it differently? How can you have a bit of a positive shift on something that might be challenging? Gratitude will build all of our capacity to deal with this challenging time, but also challenging times that might come our way as well. Being able to look at the meaning and purpose of things, even being able to look back at things that have been challenging, being able to go, what did I learn from that? What did I take from that? Yeah, it might not have been a great situation, but how has this positively impacted who I am, or maybe future decisions? So I suppose, you know, it is going to take energy and, you know, that COVID fatigue is a challenge. But even put it out there as to your families and say, hey, how can we all support each other to have a positive, optimistic outlook, and how can we have a grateful heart? Because I've seen it firsthand with our team. You know, our team has really shifted this time, and yet COVID fatigue is getting really, really real. So yeah, I encourage you to see, how can I start this day with a gratitude focus, or how can I end it? So on that note, good luck with COVID fatigue. You can fight it. I'm fighting it. But yeah, I think gratitude is a good way to fight it. So all the best. Thanks for dropping into my room. There's lots of lovely faces on here. Have a great night. Hopefully some of you will be able to get out and enjoy the sunshine and get some vitamin D or go for a walk. Yeah, I am aiming, this is my pledge to all of you, I'm aiming to get out as soon as possible to be able to get home in the daylight and when it's not freezing. Because last night I went walking and it was freezing and it was not that enjoyable. So everyone take care and I'll see you soon.
Thanks.
Bye.
Yeah.